Hello, I'm Josh Curving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video. But first, what does the fox say? I just beat Bucky O'Hare in a fight without half of my gear. Now, you may be thinking that because I was right about that one, I will have no issue with the fight. Nope, that's not how I do this. Let's talk about some issues. Firstly, as I said they would, they pretty much gave Fox only his Super Smash Bros. Moveset. While I'm sure this was only done for balancing, I'm not really a fan. In addition, while talking about backstory, I feel too much focus was put on Andross. Andross wasn't even the scariest thing that Fox fought. The Aperoids were. They were mentioned once in text and never mentioned vocally. It's just an odd nitpick, but it's something that actually did bother me considering Assault was my favorite game in the series. And the animation. It actually wasn't Derek, apparently, as I thought it was. It was someone named Mali, though Derek did the opening part in the R-Wings and the Righteous Indignation. As for my thoughts on the animation, I don't really know how to put this, but the new style will take some getting used to for me. With Lang, the characters moved more than the camera, and here, the camera angle changes a lot, which can be very jarring if they use 2D characters. I also feel like it wouldn't have been as bad if better sprites were available for Bucky, but obviously they had to make do with what they had. Overall, it was a very, very good episode. Anyway, next episode. Robocop vs. Terminator. We haven't had a good modernistic gunfight since the old days of Chief vs. Doom Guy, and here it is actually debatable for both sides. So yeah, I'm actually a bit excited for this one. I'm curious what the animation will be like, considering the lack of Robocop and Terminator sprites, as far as I know at the very least. Oh well, as I'm sure it will be a great episode for the animation at the very least. Now, on to the fight itself. Let's start with Robocop, a policeman who lost his life to a gang. Alex Murphy was made into OCP Crime Prevention Unit 1, the Robocop. His body was pretty much entirely replaced with machinery, except for his brain, face, and several internal organs. For this match, I'll go into my usual 3 stats, which are strength, speed, and durability, then state the weapons, and after that, any special machine enhancements or non-weapon equipment. Alright, strength. Robocop shows superhuman strength and can apparently break every bone in your hand with a handshake and can lift the front of his car over his head with a single arm. While certainly not the most powerful being the show has had, his weapons are more prevalent in his capabilities than much else, though his data spike, which is a little blade thing in his arm, has been shown to be able to stab people, which really won't be all that effective in this fight. In terms of speed, Robocop greatly suffers. He has stiff, slow movements, and his running speed leaves much to be desired. His jetpack makes up for this lack of mobility and is fairly quick, but on the ground he's very, very slow. Now for the main factor of this fight, which is the durability. Robocop's body is composed of titanium, and as the movie puts it, it's laminated with Kevlar, which doesn't really work because of how Kevlar works, but hey, fiction. Anyway, this body allows the Robocop to endure great hits from bombs to bullets, car crashes to falling off a building. Conventional firearms are required to be extraordinarily powerful to even damage him, and he's capable of enduring barrages of armor-piercing rounds before damage begins to show. However, his face is a weak point, and if shot there, the bullet is much more likely to hit his brain, killing him. Why nobody ever shot him in the face in the movies, I will never know. And the guns. There's guns aplenty between these two mecha men, and Robocop brings the Auto 9 handgun. You know, I would spend the next 30 seconds or so explaining this weapon, but I'm not going to because it's basically useless in against the Terminator's durability. In fact, let's go to the next weapon. 9mm Gatling gun. Useless. Flamethrower. Useless, though it would take the skin off the thing. Ordnance grenades, which need to be thrown left there for a few seconds, then shot to activate. Yeah, who thought that was a good idea? He also has a rocket launcher, which is actually somewhat useful, and his best weapon is the Cobra Assault Cannon, an anti-material rifle, which is basically a super-powered explosive sniper rifle. Now, that would pack a punch. It's probably the best weapon in this fight if they give it to him. See, the condition there is that in the first movie, Robocop basically looted that off the battlefield and dealt with one person with it, so it's questionable whether or not they're going to give it to him. Now, for special equipment, Robocop has a jetpack that he can use to propel himself around the fight, marking the 3rd character in 2 episodes to be packing a jetpack. In addition, he also has auto-targeting, not even requiring him to be looking at his targets. Despite this, though, he can never actually hit anything. This is something that's common between both of them. But despite this, Robocop has thermal vision, allowing him to see in the dark. Now then, the T-800 Terminator portrayed to mimetic levels by the almighty Arnold Schwarzenegger. This robotic man, sent from the future by Skynet, has a somewhat bad track record, having been killed in both of his appearances. The first after he was crushed to death trying to assassinate Sarah Connor, and the second time he sacrificed himself to kill the T-1000 Terminator to protect John Connor. The Terminator's strength is extremely powerful, being able to be power scaled from the T-600s, to which it is superior in every way. Due to this, the T-800 is approximately 10 times stronger than a peak human or higher, and can crush steel and concrete with ease. Speed-wise, the Terminator is very fast, capable of burst speed up to 45 miles an hour, though upholding this speed makes his joints wear down, and as such he doesn't use this very often, usually preferring to calmly walk towards his targets like a badass. He seems very human in speed, besides those sprints, though. Again, durability is the absurd stat here, as his machine composition allows him to take no damage from weaker weapons like pistols and even shotguns. He's endured car crashes, explosions, shots to the eyes, he's shrugged off stronger weapons like a Browning high power, and several other things that would mulch a normal man. Also of note is the fact that the Terminator is able to keep fighting even when he does suffer great damage. Pipe bomb between the joints? Well, I just lost an arm, let's keep fighting. Taking a dip in molten steel, half melted, I'll still flash you a thumbs up. Needless to say, Robocop needs to use that Cobra assault cannon in order to do much. But Robocop isn't the only one packing weapons here. The Terminator comes stocked with a SPAS-12 shotgun, AR-18 assault rifle, a minigun, an Uzi 9mm, Colt 45 hardballer with laser sight, all of which is mostly useless, by the way. He also has an M79 grenade launcher, or thumper as some people call it. The grenade launcher may be the T-800's best weapon, as explosives have been shown to be able to do some damage to the Robocop. The machine systems that the Terminator has access to are the aforementioned and never used weapon auto-target functions, though he also has a great hearing system, able to hear things from great distances away. He also has further optical enhancements, such as infrared sights, computer-generated ghost imaging of targets for depth perception, even with one eye, motion tracking, search modes, facial identification, and up to 15 times visual zoom, motion analysis, and night vision. He also feels no pain and has something very major over the Robocop, which is adaptive learning. This is probably his best trait, as he is much greater at learning from situations and can come up with counters based on what has and has not worked. In a battle that is going to last a long time, like this one is extremely likely to, given their durabilities, the one who can adapt the best will win. So when it's all said and done, these are two characters that are so very similar, and they can be put side by side and judged as such. Strength goes to the Terminator by a large margin. Speed goes to the Terminator, though the Robocop has more air mobility, and durability is mostly even, given that while the Terminator has a tiny bit less durability, the Robocop's face is a glaring weak spot. In the end, it all comes down to if the Robocop decides to use his Cobra before the Terminator can score a headshot, or adapt to the situation and use tactics to bring the Robocop down. So with much less certainty than with most prior battles, I'll be throwing my opinion on the side of the T-800 Terminator. This is a fight I very much look forward to seeing, and it has been largely requested for quite some time. Anyway, I'm Joshua Curving, and remember, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That way, you can attack from both sides. Thanks for watching.